Alright everyone, welcome again. This is Hound. Back here with a rotation explanation. Now, I'm not here to... Well, I guess I am here. I'm here to explain the rotation and why. So... Samurai... It's been 2 weeks, and a lot of people are wondering what the most optimal rotation is for Samurai. Samurai... The thing is with Samurai is what makes it a little difficult is the amount of different rotations you have. Now, what I mean by this is solely based on your openers. Now, it's all based on party composition. So, if you have immediately, I'll tell you right now, immediately, if you don't have a warrior or ninja, then you're stuck to one combo. And the one combo is your 2-sen Yukikaze combo. The point of this is to get the slashing resistance debuff up as soon as you can, because you want to start buffing the tanks right away that can take advantage of this. Again, so that's only used 2-sen Yukikaze combo if there is no warrior or ninja, period. Second one is the 1-sen. Now the 1-sen is, these are based on, the 1-sen and the 3-sen are the other two combos. So Samurai only has three rotations, let's say 98% of the time. What I mean by this is, so 1-sen is based on if the first phase of the boss is longer than about, what, 70 to 90 seconds. Reason is because in the 1-sen rotation, your burst comes out later in the combo. But overall, the 1-sen is stronger than 3-sen. So, if you're fighting a boss where there's no jumps, or where the boss doesn't go away, or it turns into ads, use the 1-sen, because the 1-sen is the stronger one. The point of the 3-sen is when there is mechanics where the boss jumps off screen and becomes invulnerable. What that means is the 3-sen is the burst comes earlier. So you get all your big damage moves out in time before the boss jumps away. Now, when I say use these three 98% of the time, there are very small permutations right now because people are still trying to find out the most optimal min-maxed combo. The problem is this changes even more depending on party comp, because now it depends on when ninja applies their trick attack. I mean, if they use it on their 5th or 6th OGCD, on their 5th or 6th GCD, then that changes when you use, whether it's the dot, or the Higanbana or the Midare. This is if you really want to min-max. Again, it's for the. This would only matter if you're enraging all the time, or if you really, really want to be hardcore and do the most optimal damage. But this would also mean memorizing what your ninja is doing or what your warrior is doing, which is too much work for too little reward, in my opinion, because the difference is not huge. You might get slightly higher numbers, but I'm not talking about like 200 or 300 higher, or I'm not even sure if it's 100 higher. Like, that's how little it is. So just worry about the 1-sen, 2-sen, and 3-sen. Priority wise, now the most important thing to keep up at all times is Shifu. So the Samurai has a lot of timers. Shifu is the most important because it goes along with your most important skill, Higanbana, which is your dot. Your dot does not get stronger with slashing debuff or with damage dealt. The initial hit is affected. The initial 240 hit is affected, but the damage over time potency is not affected. However, the dot portion is affected by skill speed, meaning you get more dots within the 60-second time frame, which thus adds up to more damage. So, because Higanbana is your most powerful move, when I say it's the most powerful move, since Higanbana is affected by Kai 10, including the dots, which are affected, this means it adds up to about 1400 potency versus the 1080 you get from a Kai 10 to Midare. So Higanbana is your always number one move you have to have up. It has to be it must be a Kai 10 Higanbana. That is your number one priority. With that comes your number two priority, which is your Shifu. Because when you have this up, it powers up your Higanbana. Done. Simple. Third priority, Jinpu. 10% damage increase. Very simple. Make yourself stronger all the time. All your other hits are stronger. The next down the line is Shinten. Now, Shinten is an Ogcd with a 1 second recast time, meaning pretty much when you use it, you can use it again almost right away. You can weave it in all the time, pretty much. Now, oh, sorry, before I get to that, Seigen is actually more important. Seigen only happens when Third Eye comes out. I know you're thinking 200 potency for 15 cost versus 300 potency for 25 cost. When you actually do the math and divide it down to the amount of potency per 1 cost, Seigen is the better one. So if you have the option of using Seigen or Shinten, use Seigen. I completely skipped Gurren. Yeah, Gurren is an AoE attack, but it's an 800 potency, and it's on a 2-minute timer. So let me go over that again. So first priority, always have something to use for Kai 10, and always try to have your Higanbana dot up. Second priority, again, it should be a Kai 10 Gurren. And then after that, you have your Seigen, if it's available, and then comes Shinten. So Shinten, how it works is during your first minute rotation, if you ever have the option of converting Three-sen or using Midare, you should convert the Three-sen, because with the Three-sen conversion, look, it gives you 60 gauge, and then most of the time you'll also have gauge from attacks. So you can get about 4 Shintens out in a row when you weave it. And then in your opener, I think you can get about like 6 Shintens in total, which adds more, which comes to like way more than your Midare. But even if you just get 4 base, that's 1200 versus 1080. So Kai 10 is not affected by Shinten because Kai 10 is a weapon skill, which means Kai 10 only affects anything that's on the GCD, where Shinten is not on the GCD. After that, those are your main priorities. If we wanted to get, and then NP, and then Gyoten, those moves are rarely used in a boss fight, unless there's, again, only use AoE moves if there's 3 or more enemies. Otherwise, don't even bother with them. But yeah, that priority is the basis of all your openers and rotations in your combos. Now, all your timers line up pretty nicely, so it's pretty easy to redo your opener and rotations during the boss fight. For those who, it's really hard because it's not apparent, but Samurai has 2 positionals, as you can see. Side combo bonus increases Kenki gauge by 5, and rear combo bonus increases Kenki gauge by 5. Your positionals are only in your combo enders, except for Yukikaze. Samurai, I believe, is the only class where the combo positional is not affected via potency. What I mean is, look at Monk. If you don't hit your positional, you get a lot less potency on that hit, whereas all the positional does for Samurai is give Kenki gauge. When you're going throughout the whole battle, 5 may not make the biggest difference, so it's not completely detrimental if you don't hit the positional, but nothing wrong with having True North, as it makes your perfect balance combo easier. Like, when you pop your Shisui, aka perfect balance, you can pop True North with it, and then it makes your life for those 3 hits, for the 2 hits, easier. Yeah, so let's do a one. Let's quickly go over the One-sen. So the One-sen uses Hagakure in the beginning after Akasha, and this is if the phase lasts. I think it might even go up to like 3 minutes really. If your phase lasts roughly 3 minutes, then it's stronger than the Three-sen opener. And this helps. I would say this opener is better 80% of the time because, you know, most people aren't doing savage raids where bosses jump off the map a lot. So if you're just doing a regular dungeon run or even normal, where there's not many boss transitions, where the boss becomes invulnerable, then just do the One-sen opener. So if you take a look, I'll quickly perform it right now. Oh, I messed up there, okay. So that's the One-sen opener. As you can see, that was a situation where missing a positional made a difference, because I couldn't get the Kai 10 for the Midare, as I only had 15 at this point. But I actually wanted to demonstrate that because the whole point was to explain the clipping that occurs. What is this? I just want to turn off the music right now. Why is this striking down keep attacking me? Okay, well, I'll just... Okay, we'll just leave it as is then. But, yeah, so as I was saying... Oh, it's because it's ticking. Well, that's gone now. There we go. Yeah, so, if you notice, Kai 10... Sorry, Shisui has quite a long animation, and it kind of keeps you in animation lock. What I mean by this is, after you do Higanbana, the animation lock you're put in during Shisui clips. What I mean is, even though the global cooldown finishes after 240, you can't use your next skill until the animation of Shisui finishes. So you're losing a little time there, but the point of it is to have the... It's used where it's at because it lines up better when Guren and Hagakure come off cooldown. So there possibly could be a better place to put Shisui in to prevent the clipping that occurs from after the heat. Here, I'll do it again to show you guys. So I'll just do straight up to Higanbana. So I'll do the Kai 10, and I'll do Higanbana, pop Shisui. And as you can see, I couldn't do Yukikaze right away. This is worse for people who have... Oh yeah, it's gonna tick. Poor connections. I mean, again, this is really if you want to min-max. So the difference, if you're really hardcore, then you won't do it. If you 95% of the time, it doesn't matter. So I would say don't worry about where that is clipping there. It's just there because it lines up with other cooldowns better. Yeah, so the first Sen opener is also the shortest opener because you're not spending time building up your other combos, and you're not, because it's shorter, you're not gaining more Kenki gauge, and you don't have to weave in any Shintens. The Three-sen opener is a bit longer because you're building up the 3 combos first, doing Hagakure, and then doing your Guren there, and then going through all of that again just another 3-sen just to get your mitigation. It's good to know your 3-sen because most raid fights, after like 70 or 80 seconds, there is some sort of boss jump. But it's also more useful when there's a ninja around because that lines up better with their trick attack and their whatever their slashing debuff is. Yeah, you know what? I'll try to show off the combo. I don't know the combo off by heart, the 3-sen opener, but it looks somewhat the same. It just depends on when you use Ogcd. So there's that, and here Ogcd comes here, and then your Guden, and then your Higanbana, another Shinten into Sifu, Shinten again, Yukikaze has no positional, and this is the end of the 3-sen opener. Yeah, you do mitigation. The hard part is remembering. The hard part with the samurai rotations and openers is when to use Shinten, because for those who aren't keeping track, I mean, most of the time once you're done your opener and you're done your first minute rotation, follow the rule of 35. The rule of 35 states that if you have 35 or more gauge, you can do your Shinten, and then have leftover gauge for a Kaiten Iaijutsu, even if you're doing Yukikaze, which gives the least amount. So follow the rule of 35 if you're ever unsure, and you can weave in Shinten. The point of the openers in the first minute rotations is you're weaving in Shinten when you have about 25, exactly 25 gauge, which means if you don't land your positionals, then the extra 5 gauge will cost you a bit of DPS there. That's where either True North is 15 seconds, so True North can come in handy, but your opening combo rotation, well, not the opener, but your first minute combo rotations is quite important to land your positionals so that you maximize the amount of gauge you use. The Shinten is also used at the points, at certain points in the combo, because when you use Ogcd, when you transform your 3-sen into the Kenki gauge, if you store too much Sen, if you ever go over 100, that's a DPS loss, because you could have used that on something else. Where it's used in the first minute combo makes it exact so that you can get the most amount of Shintens out without wasting any Kenki gauge. I'll display what the first minute combo looks like. So after you do all your openers, you then follow the first minute rotation, which will look something like this. Oh, maintenance stopping soon. Okay. We got 8 minutes. So your first Shinten's here. So that's 1. Your second one is after Yukikaze. 2. And then you use Ogcd. 1. 2. 3. Oh, I messed the combo. 4. No, I messed the combo completely. I just hit 1 all the time. And that should be a mitigation, by the way. And then reapply the dot Higanbana and finish off with Gecko. So, aside from the messed up combo points, you see there should be, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Shintens fit in the first opening rotation. The opening rotation actually ends at the Gecko and not at the mitigation, because the whole point of it is by the time it lines up perfectly with your opening rotation from the One-sen opener. So the second reapplication of the Higanbana applies when you literally have about 2 or 3 seconds left of the first Higanbana dot. So it's perfect opener. Anyways, yeah. Wanted to sum that up. So I don't have a paper or plot graph of what the combo is, as what I'm following is what people have, whether it's on Reddit or people have put out there. There are a lot of different samurai graphs that may look different, but they're actually essentially all the same. 1-sen, 2-sen, 3-sen openers, and the first minute rotation is usually about the same. The first minute rotation may differ depending on which opener you use, which adds a little complexity to samurai, but yeah, I mean, don't be too intimidated by the level of complexity it may seem like samurai may have. I mean, yes, they are complex. Yes, they have a high ceiling cap. But once you understand it, you know, when to use your shintens, rule of 35, when to use your shintens, priority system, you know, what's most important, applying a Higanbana, you know, using Guren. All that, once you understand the priority system and just not letting any of your timers fall off, Samurai is pretty fun and is proven the most powerful class. So if you want to do big damage, you want to have a fun class to play, mobile class to play. I mean, look at this. You can, if you're attacking and the boss doesn't move, you can jump away, do an empowered attack, and then dash right back in. Like, that's crazy mobile. So, and yeah, let's look over AoE. So AoE rotations. Priority in AoE is to use Jinpu, because you're hitting so many enemies, skill speed doesn't matter. The damage increase matters more. So you want to have Jinpu up, and then do a Fuga, there it is, Oka, and then do your Kaiten Tenka Goken. Priority wise, if you're doing single target, do Kasha / Jinpu and then a Yukikaze and repeat, or just do Mangetsu Oka and then Tenka Goken. So that's your AoE combos. If you're doing single target charge for the Tenka Goken, again, Kasha Yukikaze or Gekko Yukikaze into Tenka Goken. Or if you're doing AoE build for the 2-sen, do Mangetsu and Oka. Other than that, I think I've covered most of what Samurai is. So if you're ever wondering, you know, so let's go over again. To summarize the most important stuff, you know, always use Kai-10 for any Iaijutsu. So Kai-10 and then use your Guren most because it's the 800 on 2-minute cooldown. Have your dot up, your Higanbana dot, a Kai-10 Higanbana dot up, which is right here. Seigen, if you ever get third eye, Shinten, and that's really all you need to know. The rest aren't too important. But yeah, you know, I hope you got a little insight of the Samurai's priority system, what to keep up first, and again, follow the rule of 35. If you ever have 35 or more Kenki, you can use Shingen safely, Shinten safely, and still have a Kai-10 Iaijutsu. So I'll use the Yukikaze combo as an example, because it gives the least amount of Kenki. So bam, Shinten immediately, Yukikaze, still have Kai-10. You know, even if I do a longer combo, no matter where I weave in Shinten, bam, have enough for Kai-10 again. And again, simple math, because it takes 25. If you're left with 10 gauge, the least amount you get from your Yukikaze combo is 15. So you always have enough gauge to Kai-10 something. if you use Shin 10 at exactly 35 gauge. But that looks like we're out of time. I mean, there's maintenance right now. I think we've covered everything. So, again, 3 openers, 1-sen. The most important is use your 2-sen Yukikaze opener if there's no warrior ninja. If they are, use 1-sen if the boss doesn't jump around for about 3 minutes. Use your 3-sen if the boss jumps off pretty quickly, around 70 to 80 seconds. And then AoEs, again, focus on getting, if you're doing single target charge for 2-sen, weave in the Yukikaze combo between Kasha and Gecko, or just use Fuga with Mangetsu and Oka to get your Tenka Goken. And always have Jinpu up for your AoE combos. Yeah, other than that, that's a rundown of all the explanations. So, if any questions, please feel free to comment, and we'll try to apply as fast as we can. But you know what? This is Foxhound once again. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hoped I helped you understand Samurai a little better. If you're wondering where the combo came from, check out Momo's Samurai. Momo is the one who comes up with crazy good combo videos. He does some great explanations, and he also is the one that might have come up with this, but he does like Ninja and Dragoon as well, and other classes. So all these Sen openers and rotations mostly derive from Momo. So give him a look. But other than that, this is Foxhound, part of Team Lightning Gaming. I try to stream every night on Twitch as much as I can. We also stream other games, Overwatch, fighting games like that. So feel free to subscribe, like us. Our YouTube channel is Team Lightning Games, and Twitch is Team Lightning Gaming, so don't get those mixed up. But otherwise, we're about to go to maintenance. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. I will see you very soon with the Omega release that's coming out now, actually. It's the normal Omega. I will be streaming that, so please check it out. See you guys soon. Take it easy.